Hello, this is Debraas Love 1. I'm getting ready to do a storyline for Mr. Leonard Cure, who was 53 years old, from Atlanta, Georgia. He was a person who was exonerated after being in jail for 16 years for a robbery he didn't commit. He was released April 2020, and he was stopped by the police in April this year. Wait a minute, let me get it right. I mean, my mistake. I think it's October. Let me not say it wrong. October, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just get it right. October this year, and he was killed. Okay. So this is a picture of Mr. Cure. It's kind of hard to make these pictures come on here. Hopefully you can see him good. Okay, that's a picture of him. Okay. So he was shot by a police officer, by a deputy, who was a deputy for 3 years. I don't see the name of the deputy, just that he is a deputy and is Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so let's see anything else. Yeah. Yeah, so he was killed October 2023. So the cards I have for Mr. Cure is Healing of the Soul, deck 15 right here, and just a power of abuse cards that I pulled out, okay? So I'm going to put them together like I do, but let me just say what's on the top. Okay, deck 15. I have to use these when there's a murder or someone abuse someone or mistreat someone or missing persons, okay? Yes, he's getting a reading from the bracelet 1 because he's in the spirit. Okay, we have right here that he had ambition and he was seeing his worth, but the officer didn't see his worth and his ambition because he murdered him. Okay? The officer was looking at him as if, is it you? Are you with the good fortune? Follow me. The good fortune would be, are you a person that is a troublemaker, a criminal? Follow me. Do you have something that makes it where I can arrest you? Follow me. Okay, so we have right here that Mr. Biller. Strike that. Mr. Cure might have been dealing with a biller that he owed money. Or we dealing with the police officer. He's dealing with a biller, and that would be his boss. And that's how he make his money. So that means he had to keep stopping people and doing different things in order to keep the money flowing. To seem like he doing his job. It was a lack of control out of this police deputy, right? He had the devil energy right here. Negative. Okay, he might have a daughter. Mr. Cure might have a daughter. Anything like that. Lack of control. It's not raisins and lollipops. He didn't see Mr. Cure's worth. He didn't see his ambition. He didn't see his life was worthy. He had to face it pure and straight. This deputy. Right? Okay, we have right here. It was his time to be the conqueror. The deputy. But also Mr. Cure felt like it's his time to be the conqueror, and he wasn't going back to jail for something he did not do. Seeing that deputy behind him or stopping him or whatever, maybe gave him flashbacks, maybe. Okay? Because here it is right here, wearing certain clothes. Get what it's saying. The deputy had on a police uniform. Any kind of uniform is certain clothes. Right? Follow me. Look at what God brought out. Wearing certain clothes exaggerated things, but it don't excuse his bad behavior, right? So just because a deputy had on a police uniform, that don't excuse his bad behavior. And God considering him shooting and murdering Mr. Cure as bad behavior. Okay? Circumstances stop Mr. Cure from framing it for a lifetime, living, having children, having a job, having a wife or whatever he wanted in his life, driving his car. His family had feelings that flow like a river, because let's not mask the smell of foul, because it was foul what was done to Mr. Cure. Period. Okay. Here's the officer. He nervous, but he don't want to lose his job, right? He don't want his boss to wash the hands on him, or he didn't want Mr. Cure to do anything to him, to wash his hands on him, maybe do him in. Follow me? Let's just stop it right there. So we have on the top right here is, can you still love me now you know? Okay. You can still do the God's mission if you like. So right here, this would be, I'm going to say Mr. Cure. We got a secret society, so I'm going to put that with the cops because they are a group of people. Follow me? Okay, let's just flow for a minute. Can you still love me now you know? Can you still like me now you know? So this would be Mr. Cure's card, where can the cops still respect him, like him, treat him decent? Now he know that Mr. Cure was in jail before, whatever. I just don't know, right? I wasn't there, I don't know. This side right here says you can still do the God's mission if you like. So maybe Mr. Cure was still going to do God's mission, or the cop could have did God's mission, be a good person, and if he had to take him in and not murder him. That's the God's mission. God's mission is not to murder people. Okay. Dealing with a secret society, so this would be the cops, because the cops is a part of a group. Follow me? Or the cops thought that Mr. Cure was part of a secret society, and that would be part of a group, whoever he think it is, a drug dealer, or just black people in general, or profiling. Put it like you want to put it, okay? So it says right here, Mr. Cure wanted equal and fair. Follow me? So right then, the cop was educated, right? But God didn't want Mr. Cure to be a fool, because he was dealing with a jackal. Follow me? Lights was flashing, and Mr. Cure needed to see those lights, right? Dealing with this person. He needed to unwant what needed to go. Or Mr. Cure did want to unwant what needed to go, and that mean the officer needed to go. Or we got the cop right here, wanted to unwant what needed to go, and he felt like Mr. Cure needed to go, because he showed it in his actions. He went full force, like the card says, right? It's saying, go on and grow your business. So Mr. Cure was going to get a job, might had a job, or we can just take it as he was going to go full force and grow his business, but go full force and just go ahead and go home, or wherever he's on his way to. Just go full force and just go ahead on his way about his business. Get what I'm saying? But for the cop, he's going to go full force and grow his business. That means do what he feel his job is and get promoted, and good things happen for him as far as being a police officer. Okay? It says right here that some kind of fighting went on. If it wasn't physical, it was mentally, verbally, financially, emotionally. Talking, some kind of fighting with words, or whatever it was, intellectual, however it was, right? With somebody who didn't look like Mr. Cure. Whoever it was, whatever the race the cop was, right? So it says, he has put Mr. Cure on trial. Mr. Cure felt like he got in there and put me on trial. Or maybe the cop felt that way. Right? You put me on trial, you ask me questions, but people have a right to ask you, why are you detaining him? You don't seem to want to answer questions to anybody who look like my complexion. Okay? To please your soul, you must go. So to please Mr. Cure's soul, he needed to go, and he wanted to go, but he wasn't allowed to go. Okay? So we have right here, the cop wasn't seeing the best in Mr. Cure, wherever they lived, wherever they was, and it was Georgia, right? Okay, so it says going to be some talking at the table about this situation. Okay, so this next card is, he was going to get straight to the point, no biting his tongue. Mr. Cure may be asking him, what do you want me for? Or what, however he talk, I don't know. Whatever he said. So we have right here, knowing all money is green. So we have right here, knowing all money is green goes with you having some kind of job that you might need to let go of or getting another job. So maybe the police officer wasn't trying to get another job, or maybe he worrying right now about if he's going to lose his job. Follow me? Okay, here we have right here, he will feed me. This is the get mad card. So we got to put this with the police officer getting upset. He will feed me. So dealing with Mr. Cure some kind of way, I don't know. I didn't look at the footage to see if they was fussing, fighting, or whatever. I just don't want to look at it. But the thing is, the policeman felt like he needed to be fed. He need his job, bottom line. He getting upset. He need his job. He need me. He will feed me. Follow me. We're dealing with COVID right here. A lapse in work with COVID. Or a lapse in COVID. Let's go. I think that's it right now. Okay, let's see. This bottom card was jumping out. Let me just say it. Where's it at? Where was the bottom card? Yeah, this is what I saw the bottom card. It was a lack of love for Mr. Cure from that cop. A lack of love. And he felt like it was the last time. So I don't know if there's fussing or what was going on. Let's just record this. What happened to taking people in, arresting people? Everybody is playing cowboys and Indians. What happened to just arresting people? Why is people shooting people at traffic stops? You know, this is like this goes on so much when it comes down to people who look like this, and that's no joke. Somebody's a traffic stop, and next thing you know, they're not alive. Well, really, they supposed to just have the handcuffs on them. If they get away in their car, they just get away. If you know the license, just call the license in. You'll find the person if you know the license. Even if you got the person's ID, you know something. There's no reason to be shooting people in the back, shooting them in the head, shooting them in the neck, all kind of nonsense. Because your ego, because that's what it is ego. It's all about ego when you do that. Like to say, nah, I'm going to win. People don't have time for you to be worrying about your ego and talking about your ego when it comes down to their life and their family members' lives. Children tired of losing their parents out here because of your ego. Okay, and God definitely don't like it. So we have right here that Mr. Cure got an epiphany, and it says he was nice. Follow me? So we have it with some kind of communication here and agreement. He got epiphany. He might have got to thinking about what might happen or whatever. Okay, he had settled down at the fortress. At that time, that traffic stop was the fortress, follow me, for him. Well, he didn't want to be settled down at the fortress. He didn't want to go back to jail. If you don't get what I'm saying. The first card was he got an epiphany. He got a vision. He got a memory of what he went through for 16 whole years. Get my drift. Here it is right here. This officer had this going on. It's in his genetics. Get what it's saying? His mother, his father is in his blood. He was hateful. Follow me? Okay. Lapse in it. Officers or just COVID. Anything like that. Usually coming unboxed. This officer, follow me. There's no reason to be doing all that before traffic stop. Okay, it says right here, he's following him some kind of way anyway. You can't see it, they light green. Okay, to gain is to let go of what needs to go. This don't go in here. Oh, yes, it is in here. What do I mean it don't go in here? He looked at Mr.Cure as a liability, transparent. He a liability to him. That's why he did what he did. He looked at him as he was important. But newsflash, he is important. He got family members that love him. Love him to the moon. Okay, so let's just flow. Whoa. So we have that he was scaling things out for the winter time. I say summer, but we know it's not summertime. So I'm just going to say winter time. So we have, you know you must go. God was saying he know he must go. To please his soul, he knew he must go. Mr.Cure. Okay. He was thinking right here. He is going to do what it takes to get to where he needed to go. So whatever the officer asked him or whatever happened, he was going to do it. Or the officer was. So the next card is one of them needed a center of love. Him or the officer. Center of love. As counseling or a lawyer, but really counseling. He needed one because of what he went through over 16 years of being in jail, or this officer needed one because this officer had hatred in him. It's in his blood. He went full force. And it says right here, he's going to go on and grow his business. So going on and growing his businesses, he's going to go on and do his job, full force to do his job, to grow as an officer. Okay, it was a united front, or Mr.Cure wanted a united front with this officer. Because God says no more minor crutches. And he knew Mr.Cure knew how to act or whatever. You strong, Mr.Cure. Deal with this the right way. Because seemingly he was the best. Come from Atlanta, right? So we have honestly, God says. Okay. Because something was seeping through with this officer. And that was the hatred. He didn't see Mr.Cure's ambition, and he didn't see his worth. Follow me? Bills was piling up. A lot of money was being spent. Bills was piling up. Anything like that as far as the officer's life or Mr.Cure's life. One of them. So I don't know if it was tickets. I don't know. Well, one of them. That's all I can tell you. Right now, I can't say which one. Because this is a money card. He is going to be the conqueror. Mr.Cure felt like he was going to be the conqueror that night or that day, because he wasn't trying to go back to jail. He was going to win. But also the officer felt like he was going to be the conqueror. He was going to win. Because he had certain kind of clothes on. And this card represents he had certain clothes on because he was a deputy, right? So, certain kind of clothes exaggerated things. Okay? But it don't excuse God saying the deputy's bad behavior. The bad behavior is he shot and murdered Mr.Cure. That's the bad behavior. Okay? When he should have just put cuffs on him if he had to take him to jail. Maybe he a Gemini. I don't know. Maybe Mr.Cure Gemini will act like one. The Gemini sign always call it good and bad. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Get my drift. Gemini was going to be frank, or somebody act like one with Mr. Cure, and that would have been the officer. Well, he was being frank with this officer, however it's going. Right? Dealing with a secret society, that would be he dealing with the cops. That's a group of people, right? Who are the deputy. Wait a minute. Bear with me for a minute. Sorry about that. Shoot, I'm like trying to see something in a minute. Bear with me for a minute. Okay. Okay, Mr. Cure wanted equal and fair from the deputy. Because the deputy might have was thinking about Mr. Cure was part of some group. Drug dealers, just black people in general. Follow me? Trouble group. Whatever he thought like that. Let's just flow. So we had Mr. Cure, or this deputy, one of them, needed to seek help for a rape or for being stolen from, because that's what this represents, this card. Follow me? Follow me? Mr. Cure was trying to get along. Oh, shoot. Next card. You can still do your God's mission if you like. I feel this God to Mr. Cure. No matter what he been through in his life and all, he could still do what God wanted him to do in his life. But that got cut short. Can you still love me now? You know. So if this happened to Mr. Cure, what I just said, on the negative, this would be probably for his family. But if not that way, we're going to go with the deputy. So some kind of way, if he told the deputy, or the deputy found out that he was in jail before, or anything like that, could he still like him? Could he still treat him fair? Could he still treat him equal? Would you mistreat him since you know he was in jail before? Because it's the last time for the lack of love for Mr. Cure. He felt like he wasn't going to get a lack of love anymore. He already went through that already. He not having that again. Last time. But then God also feel like it's the last time for the lack of love for Mr. Cure by the police, because this is the second time with the cops. But it's fatal this time. There's going to be some talking at the table. He was dealing with a ticking time bomb. That officer was a ticking time bomb. Okay, what are you going to do? What are you embarrassed about? So the officer was saying whatever he was saying to him, and he was saying whatever back. So he felt like Mr. Cure felt embarrassed, but Mr. Cure probably was feeling anxiety. Follow me? Because the first card is epiphany, so he probably thinking back about back then, right? Yes, he's getting a reading from me. Debraas Love 1, Healer Tarot. He has been put on trial by this officer, and he felt like he got a nerve. But then maybe Mr. Cure was asking the police officer questions. You know, why are you detaining me? Or whatever he's saying. And the police felt like, you got a nerve. But some police officers got to see that you treat people different that look like me. And that's a fact. You got somebody who looks like me, ask you a bunch of questions, and you answer the questions. You get a badge number. You give your name. Somebody look like me, you want to give a hard time. I see enough news clips and stuff on. I see enough of them to see how people of different races treat the police, and it just get pushed over like it's nothing compared to a black person. I see that. I'm not talking just to be talking. I see that when I turn on my computer. And it be no consequences for them. Tearing up traffic tickets and all kind of nonsense. When you try to arrest somebody else who don't even want to sign the ticket, you want to arrest them or take them or shoot them, things like that. But somebody else that's not looking like this, you wind up killing them over a traffic ticket because they won't sign it, because they won't step out the car and all kind of nonsense. You need a support group. Any of you that's like that, you need to do some talking in a support group. Follow me? But this is Mr. Cure's card because he dealt with being in jail all that time for nothing and went through everything he went through in there, and he needed a support group. He needed to do some talking. He didn't need to be brutalized anymore. So he might have talked to the officer and told the officer, it was straight to the point, eye to eye contact, and he might have told the police officer whatever he told him. I don't know. I didn't look at the video, and I don't want to see it. One of them did some talking here. Follow me? And I really feel it's him because it's a guard card for him to tell and say what he got to say. Ask the question he had to ask. Don't be talked down to. Don't be humiliated. Don't be mistreated. It's this card. Okay? Knowing all money is green. This the officer. Knowing all money is green. Right? He was going to do his job. Even if it wasn't a good job. Because that wasn't a good job right there to murder somebody. That's not a good job. That's not a good job. The good job is arresting somebody. That's the good job. Not murdering somebody on the spot. You didn't do a good job. Okay? You ended up on this channel. This is the God channel. God wants spiritual justice for this man, Mr. Cure. Because God was there. And God did not want his life to end. God allowed him to be in jail 16 whole years and come out for what, 3 years and a half or whatever? And still be alive? Nah. That wasn't God's will. That was your will. And God wants justice. You went ahead and you began. Because God wanted Mr. Cure to go ahead with his life once he came out and began a new life and get his counseling or what all he needed. Because God's saying it right here. Mr. Cure had all kind of feelings deep inside of him and also his family. Because God says right here, this is God cards. God says let's not mask the smell of foul because it was foul what you did to Mr. Cure. That's no joke. Because I just shuffled. I should have left it like it was with that torture card. I shuffled. I should have left it up there. This one right here was showing that I did the shuffle. This one. Because you tortured Mr. Cure and you hyped that thing up. He already went through that in jail already. But you did it right there because you gave him anxiety and all kind of stuff happened with him at the car. He had flashbacks or whatever he had with that first card right there. Circumstances stopped him from framing for a lifetime. Living for a lifetime. Having a family. Whatever it is he wanted to do. Whatever he wanted. A new job. A new woman. I don't know what he wanted. Whatever he wanted. You stopped it. Driving a car. Whatever it was he wanted. Going to counseling. You was educated, God says. But God didn't want Mr. Cure to be a fool. Because you was a jackal to Mr. Cure. He is dealing with somebody who didn't look like him. You don't have to have curly hair, but you're not his race, whoever you are. If you his race, you still don't look like him. There's something different about you. That's for sure. From your hair to your skin shade, or something going on with you if you're the same race. Okay? He created the walls of harm and safe for his life. He was inside his car and he was safe. So he created his safe. But being a police officer, you want people to step out the car. So that made the harm come to him when he came out. But he could have still stayed in his car and you still could have harmed him. He kind of couldn't win if he got a certain kind of person on his hands. You turned on the on and off switches. You did. You decided to take your gun and shoot him and kill him for whatever reason. Last I stopped, a traffic stop, you're supposed to get somebody a ticket, right? You're supposed to take him in, handcuff him if that's what it is. What did he do? For a death sentence. What did he do? Really? I don't want to see the video. I don't want to look at it. Okay? We have right here, he's dealing with a bureaucrat that was taking some kind of drugs. So, this not him. This would be you. Whatever it is you take. That's not his card. That's your card. You had a lack of control. You might have a daughter. He might have a daughter that's a Capricorn. Maybe you're a Capricorn. He is a Capricorn. Act like an earth sign. Or you got a daughter act like one. He have a daughter act like one. Somebody is connected to a earth sign. Whatever earth sign, one of you. Lack of control. Negative. You became unboxed, unhinged, upset while stacking them up. Charges, allegations, complaints, whatever you was throwing at him as far as saying to him, whatever it was. Because you had hatred. Your card said it at the beginning over there. You had tendencies for sure. Or you felt he had tendencies for sure. To be a drug addict. To be a criminal because of really how he looked. I feel it was racial profiling. Because you got tendencies. You was marveling at the gate. And the gate was him. Because it said you was following him. You was marveling at the gate. And the gate was him. His car. And you was loving it. But he was marveling at the gate. And loving it. Wherever he was going at. Something he was going to go do that night. Or whatever was going on. Okay. You was upset. Because he will feed me. You need your police department to feed you. You need your job. So you didn't know him, right? I can turn the card around if you knew him some kind of way. Did you know him some kind of way? Because I can turn it a whole nother way and make it a whole nother story. Okay, it says relations to not wanting you as a woman. Okay, what is this doing in there? Let's flow for a minute. Maybe you got a problem with your woman, whoever she is. Okay. Don't lower your standards. Maybe you had problems with your woman, wife, or whoever you got. But don't lower your standards. Or you shouldn't be taking it out on Mr.Cure. Whatever your problem with your woman is. To me, that's the home somewhere. People come and bring stuff to their job. Blaming everybody else for your problems. Did you really care? Because here's wondering what was inside of your mind. Did you really even care? You didn't care about him no kind of way. Because you shot him dead. Lights was flashing. And you needed to see the lights. That you was upset, getting unhinged. That you needed to get some kind of control. That you seemed at loss. Right? But you wanted to unwind what you felt needed to go, and that was Mr.Cure at that time. But Mr.Cure wanted to unwind what needed to go, and that means he wanted to get away from you. Because the lights was flashing, and your lights from your police car was flashing. Camouflage wouldn't work. Right? Back then for Mr.Cure. But camouflage won't work for you because you was following him. And you had your problems going on. And going off the storyline, you was taking something. You had a sixth sense about it all. What you had a sixth sense about maybe was, well, maybe something going on with that man or something going on with that car. I don't know how he was driving. I don't know how he was driving to make you even come follow him. But then he had a sixth sense about you because of how you was treating him and acting toward him. Maybe. I don't know. Okay? You got to face it pure and straight. Not raisins and lollipops. People don't want their loved ones murdered when they supposed to just be handcuffed and taken to jail. But he had to face it pure and straight. It's not raisins and lollipops as far as him being stopped. What was he being stopped for? Was he driving too fast or whatever? He had to just face dealing with this cop right here in his face and say what he had to say to get the problem straightened out. Whatever it was. Whatever the problem was. I don't know. I don't see no drinking for him on here. I don't see no drinking. I don't see no drinking. So he wasn't drunk. He fought him, a person who don't look like him. That would be the cop. So fought means different things. Physically, mentally, verbally, financially, intellectually, emotionally, however, verbally, however, he fought Mr. Cure, this deputy, right? Him. However, so it says right here that gradually a court date is coming up, and it need to come up because he need to go to court. He needs to go to court for this. He needs to get in trouble for this. He was dealing with a biller. Mr. Cure was dealing with a biller. He owed money to somebody, or somebody owed money to him, or this deputy. But really, yeah, let's see. So he's seeing everything that's in it. So when that deputy was in his face, he was seeing everything in it, going up with what he was saying. So maybe he's dealing with a biller, and the biller would have been the deputy. Maybe he was talking about a ticket, and that would make the deputy the biller. So maybe he got stopped for a ticket. He was giving him a ticket. Anything about driving, maybe. He is gaining much hope in it all. Seeking everything in it. Because he wanted to have a recovery for a brighter future. Because he went through what all he went through in jail. He is going to live the best life by getting healed. Get what it's saying. He is going to go to counseling. Or he already was in counseling. Anything like that. A good fortune. Is it you? My good fortune. I got to put this with the deputy. Because is it you, my good fortune? Is it you, the person I'm going to arrest today? Or are you going to be the one I write a ticket? Or are you the one I'm going to get something out of? Write a ticket, arrest you, murder you, or whatever it is. His good fortune. Whatever it is. Right? The last one is Mr. Cure was nervous, and also this deputy was nervous, or the deputy nervous now. Right? Deputy. I'm trying to say it right. Deputy. We'll say deputy, but deputy. Get what I'm saying? Okay. Mr. Cure was wondering, was this deputy going to wash his hands on him? Or if he is going to lose his job if he had one. Right? Or the deputy is wondering right now if the police department going to wash their hands on him. Right? Or if he going to lose his job. Anything like that. Because there's court date coming up right here gradually. So I think it was I didn't look at the video. I think it looks like it might have been a ticket maybe. But could he still love Mr. Cure and treat him decent and not come down so hard on him once he saw that Mr. Cure was a person that was in jail before? Anything like that? Or that Mr. Cure was driving too fast or whatever this is. Could he treat him fair? Could he treat him decent? Get what I'm saying? Could he treat him decent? He going to court, so I don't think I need another one for Mr. Cure because he's going to court. So if he going to court, he going before a judge. So I'm not going to do any more. We'll see how that'll go, however it goes. God going to handle the rest because God wants justice because you ended up on this channel. When you end up on this channel, God wants justice, whoever you are. Because God wants justice for Mr. Cure. God feels and knows that is unfair, is unjust. So the legal system might not do anything. I don't know. But God is going to get God's justice. God gets justice off of any and everybody. Okay? So if you don't go to jail or whatever happened the legal way, God is going to handle you God's way. Like God handled everybody. All of us get God justice when we don't do right. It's like you get a spanking from your mom or your daddy. You're going to get the spanking you're going to get. God going to give it to you. If you don't get it in the legal system, God going to give it to you. But God going to give it to you if you go to the legal system or not. You still want to get God's justice, the spanking from God. Because God don't like what you did. Because it says that you had hatred going on with you. And then you was taking something on top of it that make it even worse. So we got some people in the police department that is racist. If you don't know it or not, or some of you don't know it. This card right here. See this card right here? This card right here. Genetics. Mr. Cure did not want to be settled back down in the jail. Got that epiphany. He don't want no parts of that again. You're not taking him there. What do you want? He trying to handle that thing right there. But, yeah. It was a sure thing that you had tendencies. And he saw it in your actions, how you was acting with him. So yeah, this is it for this one. Yeah. Because it say that he was nice right here. It say he nice, but he got that epiphany. Things start to come in and flash into him. Whoa. But God telling him, you strong. Because he wanted a united front. He wanted it to go easy. Going off of my storyline, he wasn't trying to cause no problems. He wanted it to go easy. Right? He wanted a united front. This is his card. Here, God telling him, you strong, Mr. Cure. You strong. You can do this. You can handle this. You got this, Mr. Cure. But when you're dealing with somebody who don't want you to have it, when you're dealing with somebody who want trouble, who want chaos, when you're dealing with somebody like that, you can't get nowhere because they determined to do what they determined to do. But this person's going to court. Right? So we're going to leave it there because he's following him. I don't know how far he's following him, but he was. Yeah. Needed to gain, he had to lose what needed to go. So I don't know if he was following him and Mr. Cure started driving fast to get away. You know, I don't know. He needed to lose what needed to go. So I don't know if he was, you notice somebody following you so you ride faster or make turns. It could have been something like that. Because it's not really saying that he did nothing bad. It's not saying he did anything bad. He might have been driving a certain kind of way. Maybe. And then he might start driving a little faster. He noticed a cop was behind him or by him. And he might have wanted to drive a little faster. He might have did a turn. He might look suspicious to the cops. Because they always thought when somebody looks suspicious. You scratch your butt, they saying you look suspicious. You combing your hair, you look suspicious. You tying your shoes, you look suspicious. Everybody looking suspicious when they just being a regular person. I hate that hearing that phrase. I hate it with a passion. Yeah. But with Mr. Cure, he might have been driving a little fast. And when he saw the cop, he might have drove faster. He might have made a turn this way and that way because the cop was following him right here. And he needed to lose what needed to go. Or while, if he wasn't riding real fast, there's a reason why the cops stopped him. The light out of your car, something is wrong. So if it's not that, when he was standing there with him, he wanted to be able to go. So he wanted to talk or say whatever just to get away so he can just go ahead and on about his business. So the video won't say what the video says, but it's good if the videos could let you hear some kind of words so you can hear what being said. You know, because at least you can hear what's being said, because there's no reason for him to be pulling his gun out, shooting anybody. I mean, really. Just because somebody riding fast, that is not a cause. That's not for you to kill somebody because they riding fast. Or just because they won't get in the car, they won't get out the car. There's still no reason to shoot and kill somebody. Training had to be changed some kind of way with cops, because it's just ridiculous. More people, they killing more people than putting in jail. Every time you look around, somebody's getting shot with a traffic stop, and it shouldn't be that. It really shouldn't. Get people a ticket and let them go ahead on about their business. If they don't appear in court, you just go get them. Simple as that. Stop trying to be where you in your ego, trying to be Superman, trying to be Batman, and all these kind of things you're trying to be. If they get away, let them get away. As long as you have that information, their license number, you can find them. But no, all this ego gotta go. There's too much ego going on with people. And then in your ego, you killing children's fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, nephews. All because your ego. That ego needs to die. Get rid of the ego. Get rid of the ego. Because people want to live, just like you want to live. People want to live. People want their fathers, their brothers, or whoever to live. Get rid of the ego and come as a regular person when you come in and presenting yourself to somebody. I know you got to be serious and stuff like that, but let the ego go. This is Debraas Love 1, Healer Tarot. This is a storyline reading for Mr. Leonard Cure, a 53-year-old young man who was murdered by a deputy of 3 years in Atlanta, Georgia. Some kind of traffic stop. I don't see no drugs. I don't see no drinking. That's all I'm left with. He might have been driving a little fast. That's all I see in here. I don't want to keep putting cards down because I see a court card. So I'm going to leave it there that the officer is going to court if he haven't been yet. Court date going to be coming up for him to go. Because I don't see the unjust card unless I do another one, but I just don't feel like I'm supposed to do another one. The court is enough right there because he's going to court. But however it turns out, God is going to handle him the godly way, because he ended up on my channel. And anybody end up on my channel, God feels that you did somebody wrong. That's why you on my channel. Okay, this is Debraas Love 1.